there. It's lovely to see you. I'm just taking the weight off my feet. I need a little sit down. You see, I've been spring cleaning. I've been busy all morning sorting out my drawers and tidying my kitchen cupboards. Do you know, I came across a drawer full of candles, all different shapes and sizes, all different colours, all different smells. But you know, it was this little candle that got me thinking. It reminded me of a little story my Nana used to tell me when I was a girl, if ever I felt a little bit down in the dumps. You see, I wasn't like the other children at school. I've always been a bit, well, different really, unique you could say. But because I was a bit different, I often felt like I wasn't good enough. And my Nana would always reassure me though. She'd tell me I didn't need to be like anyone else. I just needed to be me. She always told me I was extra special, and just like the other children shone in their own way, she said I shone in my own special way. And whenever she told me that, she'd always grab a little candle just like this one and tell me a little story. Once upon a time, she'd say. She'd always start with once upon a time. So, once upon a time, a little candle stood in a room filled with other candles. Now all the other candles were much larger and much more special than she was. And this little candle had no idea why she was there. She didn't think she belonged there. And looking at the other candles made her feel really kind of small and insignificant. But then the sun went down and the room began to get dark. And she noticed a man was walking towards her with a ball of fire on a stick. Well, she suddenly realised that the man was going to set her on fire. "No, no," she cried, "don't burn me, please." But she knew he couldn't hear her, so she prepared for the pain that would surely follow. But to her surprise, there was no pain, but the room filled with light. She wondered where that was coming from, since the man had blown out the fire that was on the end of his stick. But to her surprise, she realised that the light was coming from her. Then the man struck another fire stick, and one by one he lit all the other candles in the room. But you know, each one gave out the same light that she did. The big candles didn't give out a bigger light, and the fancier candles didn't give out a fancier light. But during the next few hours she noticed that her wax slowly began to flow and melt away. She became aware that she, along with all the other candles, were getting smaller. All of a sudden, she realised that was her purpose. That was why she'd been created. She understood that she had been made to give out light, and that's what she did. And she knew she belonged in that room just as much as all the other candles did. And then when my Nana had finished that story, she'd turn to me and she'd say, "Nora, you've got a purpose too. You've been created to shine God's light in this dark world in your own special way. So don't ever think you don't belong, or you're too small, or that you're too different, or that you're too insignificant. Just let God's light shine from you." Dear old Nana, she was special. Do you ever think you don't belong? Or do you ever feel like you're too small, or too different, or too insignificant? Well, you're not. God made you to shine His light in your own special way. I hope you remember that. Well, I better get back to sorting out my drawers. They won't sort themselves out, will they? I'll see you next time. Cheerio!